When you or your loved one is injured in a car or slip and fall accident, one of the most important decisions you're going to make is the lawyer that you hire. At Alam Law, we take pride in the fact that every person who calls for a free consultation speaks to one of our personal lawyers, not just a legal assistant or agent. Call Alam Law at 416-625-2636 for a free consultation. And remember, you do not pay anything unless I win your case.
There's a lot of reasons why I'm really happy to be working with Greenish, but one of the main ones is their brand philosophy, which is also my personal philosophy, and that is embracing this passion for life. They develop products that help you live your life to the fullest in a wholesome and a healthy way. And Greenish products are really those that I trust, and I trust that you'll trust them as well, because it's all about living your life to the fullest.
Welcome to Toronto Buzz. I'm your host Khalid Mahmood Ata. We're going to be having a few experts on different issues, including our life in Toronto, economy, fashion, health, beauty, inspiration, as well as nutrition. Keep watching Toronto Buzz. There's a lot happening in this program. Let's start our show with a hot buzzing issue with our political analyst, Vince Fiorito. Welcome to Toronto Buzz. I'm your host Khalid Mahmood Ata. Tonight we have a very esteemed special guest. He is our political analyst. He's come all the way from Burlington, Ontario. My friend, Mr. Vince Fiorito, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Khalid. I'm happy to be here.
Now, Vince, a lot of people are talking about, there's a big buzz, not just in Toronto, but across the globe about what Mr. Donald Trump had to say about Muslims. What's your take on that?
Well, I understand Mr. Trump is a very successful businessman, and he's made very shrewd business decisions all over the world. You know, real estate magnate, you know, the apprentice program, you know, very well known. So obviously he's a very intelligent man, that's for certain. And I think he's more intelligent than what most people give him credit for. I think a lot of this buzz over Muslims and Donald Trump, or Mexicans and Donald Trump, I think that what he's doing is he's masterfully manipulating the press. With all these headlines that he's been getting, he really doesn't have to spend that much money on press commercials and advertising, so he's getting a lot of free press out of it. But you know, what he's saying just profoundly disturbs me. It reminds me of, you know, some of the very bad mistakes that the world has made in the past regarding identifying religious minorities and then discriminating against them, official state-based discrimination. And what really offends me is when he made that statement that Muslims might have to wear some kind of a symbol identifying who they are. That's just, I find that offensive. And what I'll say is, I'm agnostic. I don't have a religious background. I support all religions equally. If there's any government in the world who makes Muslims wear some kind of a symbol identifying who they am, I swear right here, right now, I'll wear that symbol as well, along with a peace sign, indicating solidarity with my Muslim brothers and sisters. Yeah, so I really would like to say, don't fear. There's a lot of Canadians that are on the side of our fellow Canadian citizens who happen to be Muslims, devout Muslims.
Now, you said you're agnostic, you're not a Muslim, but you would support Muslims in such a cause. Now, what do you think, how should Muslims react to this issue?
I believe that Muslims should react the same way as any other Canadian who was seeing their, well, in the case of the United States, any other American citizen whose rights are being trampled on, or when somebody is threatening to trample on their rights and freedoms. The United States is supposed to be a free country where everybody's treated equally under the law. And, you know, if that's not happening, then I think that Muslims should stand up for their rights and freedoms, and other people in the United States who also believe in religious rights and freedoms should stand with them. And I think that if the Muslim community was looking for support from the non-Muslim community, I think that they would find that there's a lot of people that would actually support them on this issue.
Great. Thank you so much, Vince, for your thought, and it's been very generous and kind of you to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for allowing me on your program.
Thank you. Tonight, we're going to be talking about our Canadian economy with an expert who's been in the business of finance for many years. Let's see what Badr Shamim has to say about Canadian economy.
Today we'll be discussing both local and global economy within the context of Greater Toronto Area. Canada is the G20 nation, currently slated at approximately the 13th largest economy in the world, Having said that, in recent years, we have seen our economy slow down, primarily due to a pullback in global demand as well as pricing of commodities, which Canada is known for. Western Canada in particular has robust export and manufacturing, focusing on both raw materials, precious metals, as well as energy-related commodities. In recent years, though, because of excess supply primarily from Gulf region states, as well as increasing growth in supply of oil out of shale production in the United States, we have seen our exports gradually slow down. Price of oil is now trading at roughly $36 US. That's down from $120 approximately 12 months ago. In that context, Canadian economy has shed a lot of jobs in recent months. We are currently growing at a modest pace of about 0.9%, and our latest GDP data shows that last month's economic growth as well as job growth was virtually zero. When you take a look at Canada in its entirety, though, the picture is slightly different. The drop in the value of oil price has resulted in a lower Canadian dollar, which is a positive for manufacturing in Eastern Canada, in particular, province of Ontario and Greater Toronto Area. Toronto Area is known for its big automation hubs, its infrastructure related companies, its healthcare related companies, and all of the same is also reflected in the region of Peel, which consists of the three cities of Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon.
Our daily health is very important to keep ourselves fit and also in shape. Tonight, we are going to show you a segment where we'll be talking about our health, and we have an expert on health issues, and she's a medical doctor. Let's see what Dr. Amita Joshi has to say about our health.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Amita Joshi Mundanchira, bringing you medical topics of interest that matter to you. Well, winter is upon us, so one of the most common medical ailments that we see right now is the common cold. So let me tell you how you can take care of it with just over-the-counter measures that may prevent you a trip to the doctor. So the common cold, as we commonly call it, may be stemming from the head region or from the chest region, so which may include runny nose, cough, headache, and chest tightness. We may also have stomach colds, as they call it, which may include vomiting, diarrhea, in addition to the head cold or the chest cold symptoms. Well, you don't have to run to the doctor right away. What you could do is take some over-the-counter measures and some conservative measures. What I mean by that is, number one thing that you can do in the comfort of your own home is steaming, the old-fashioned way that your moms or grandmoms have told you about. So this can be done in the comfort of your own bathroom. Just let the hot water run into the bathtub or into the sink and leave the room exhaust off, and just sit in there and have a steam for about 10 minutes, if possible twice a day. For older adults and kids who can do it over a pot of hot water, you could even do it that way. The second thing you can do is get something called Salinex or salt water nasal drops that you can get over the counter. And these go 1 drop in each nostril, and you can do it twice a day. Probably you can do it right before you steam because they work well in combination. For much younger kids who have a lot of nasal congestion, this can be followed up with a nasal aspirate, and you get those suction cups from over the counter as well. So these are 2 simple measures that you can do right out of your home. If there's a fever, make sure you have a thermometer at home, because sometimes you do feel warm, but you take it with a thermometer and there's no temperature recorded. That's in fact a good sign that tells you that your body is actually fighting the cold on its own. So as long as there is no recorded temperature, you are safe to even just try the warm baths to get control of the fever. Now, if you do have a fever, which means above 38 degrees Celsius or above 99 degrees Fahrenheit in your thermometer, then I would suggest go for something like Tylenol. Advil is even better as long as you do not have vomiting. And Advil is good if you have fever and body aches. And follow the instructions on the box and use it. So something mild, a mild head cold, a mild chest cold, or a mild stomach cold that's viral will respond to these measures in 4 to 5 days. Beyond that, you should start to feel better. At that point, if you're still feeling worse, or in the first 4 to 5 days, the Advil, the Tylenol is not keeping the fever under control, then you need to go see a doctor and make sure it's nothing beyond something viral. In addition to a stomach cold where you do have vomiting and diarrhea, definitely avoid foods that will make it worse. And these food lists include lactose, milk, cheese, and yogurt, spicy foods, oily foods, and also anything that is made in oil, and caffeine as well, which means coffee, tea, chocolate, dark pop. So it would be best to avoid these items if you're having vomiting and diarrhea so that you can heal faster. In the case of vomiting and diarrhea, once again, you do not have to run to the doctor as long as you're not having a fever that's not controlled with Tylenol, and as long as there's no blood in your vomit or in your stool. And one word of caution, when it comes to vomiting and diarrhea, if you do have a fever, please do avoid Advil because it's not good for the stomach. So there you have it, a few simple measures that you can do right out of the comfort of your own home and be assured that you may be fine and you do not need to see the doctor. And then you can recover from a common cold on your own and not have to turn to drugs all the time. This is Dr. Amita Joshi Mundanchira. Thank you for watching us.
Welcome back to Toronto Buzz. As you were just watching Dr. Amita Joshi talk about our health, let's go and see what Ms. Stephanie Orlando has to say about a very special fitness technique which is called Zumba.
As wonderful as life in Toronto is, it can be busy, stressful, hectic, so it's really nice to have a place to go and something fun to do to stay active and healthy amongst all the busyness. That's where Zumba comes in. Zumba is all about having a good time and staying fit. You can leave your troubles at the door and pick them up on the way out, but for that 1 hour class, you're just having a great time, dancing, smiling, laughing, hearing beautiful music, and staying fit. So the song you're going to see is called Remedy. This we would usually use as warm-up, so this kind of song will get your whole body warmed up and ready to start the class.
Oh na na na, oh na 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 na. Oh na na na, oh na 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 na, oh na na na, oh na 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 na, oh na na na, oh na 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 na. This is an emergency, I'm begging urgently. This is a serious case. The way you put in work on me, just like a surgeon when you operate that ways. Well, I don't need your love, but I need your company. Baby, please hold up, let me feel your company. If police roll up like they want to come for me, Lord, bring the thing and give it to me. Girl, you are the remedy. How you whine on me, the thing that you're giving me, curing me, so I really need your remedy. Raise the vibe in me, give me waistline therapy, push back on me till you make me say na na, oh na na na, oh na 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 na, oh na na na, oh na 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 na. Give me the fix right now. Start to whine now. Hey, start to whine now. Start to whine now. Hey, give me the fix right now. Start to whine now. Start to whine now. Start to whine now. Give me the fix right now. I'm losing patience. No more hesitation. Please don't make me wait in line. I need an explanation. Now follow the ways and cause it with the cure one time. Well, I don't need your love, but I need your company. Baby, please hold up, let me feel your company. If police roll up like they want to come for me, let them come, bring the thing and give it to me. Girl, you are the remedy. How you whine on me, the thing that you're giving me, curing me, so I really need your remedy. Raise the vibe in me, give me waistline therapy, push back on me till you make me say na na, oh na na na, oh na 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 na, oh na na na, oh na 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 na, oh na na na, oh na na na, oh na na na. Give me the fix right now. Start to whine now. Hey, start to whine now. Start to whine now. Hey, give me the fix.
Welcome back to Toronto Buzz. I'm your host Khalid Mahmood Ata. I hope you're enjoying the program. Inspiration in our daily lives is very important. No matter who we are and where we are, inspiration keeps us going. Let's see what Ms. Fariha has to say about inspiration.
Hello, my name is Fariha Shah, and I'm also known as a passion practitioner. And why am I known as a passion practitioner? Because I assist people in living their life of passion. So what is it that is your passion, and how is it that you can live it? I am here to assist you. It's a case of our mind has several programs running on autopilot. So how is it that we program our brain to do what we want, which is conducive to our well-being and to living a life of passion? I have an academic background in cognitive science, specializing in the neurological and biological basis of behavior. And I've developed a methodology which really helps us to activate those areas of our mind which aren't so active. We go through a process of using all of our senses. So it's a case of if there's a specific experience that we want in our life, how does it feel? What does it taste like? Is there a particular smell associated with it? All of those are incorporated in developing and really creating the experiences that you as the individual want to create for your life. It is my pleasure to be able to share these experiences with you, and in the upcoming sessions to come, I will delve more deeply into that.
Welcome back. You're watching Toronto Buzz. Beauty and fashion has been the highlight of a Toronto life of a woman. Let's see what our Miss Universe, Miss Samantha Tajik, has to say.
Welcome to Toronto Buzz. I'm Samantha Tajik. Today's beauty trend topic is eyelashes. It seems everywhere you look these days, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or TV, it seems all these beautiful ladies have these stunning, full, long lashes. Well, you can all achieve them. There's several ways. So I'm going to fill you in today on the little tips on how you can get there. So I don't know if you've heard of this product, but there's a lot of similar products like this out there. This is basically to enhance the growth of your own eyelashes. It's very simple. You just use it nightly, and in about 2 months to 3 months on average, I would say, you're going to see a big booming difference. Downfall, you have to continue using it to keep seeing results. So what does this really entail? Basically, you're going to open it up, and there is a little tiny bottle, only this big, and this is going to last you a really long time, because what you're going to do is take out the little brushes. There's one for each eye. I'm just going through it quickly for you today. And basically, you're going to put on a couple of drops, and at night before you go to sleep, you're going to swipe it just along the lash line over here. Simple as that. You're going to do it to each eye, pop into bed, do that every night. And there you go, you got thick, full lashes. Now, if you don't have time or the patience to do that every night, you just want to do it occasionally, no problem. There is tons of fake eyelashes out there on the market. Tons. The price range, all over the place, really. Quality, I mean, it depends. Are you wearing it for one night? You might not care so much. But yeah, they're all out there. Putting them on, a little bit tricky. You might have to get someone to teach you or have someone apply it for you if you're not familiar. Because I find the trick with these is to actually cut them so they fit your eye panel perfectly. That's kind of how you get them to look natural. They do have a lot of different ones out there. So there's fuller ones, thinner ones, shorter ones, longer ones. But yeah, that's a definite cheat that's out there. Third way, eyelash extensions. So there's a lot of girls out there that have a business where you go in and they actually apply strand by strand eyelashes, and this is semi-permanent, so it does last for a few weeks. Some of them say a couple months, but I think it's a little bit pushing it. But yeah, you just look and find someone that's really qualified, and there you go, bing bang, and you got eyelashes there. You wake up with it, you sleep with it, you shower with it, and it's there all the time. So that's basically wrapping it up for today. The eyelash hot topic, and that's kind of how these girls are achieving it. So don't feel bad. A lot of them are doing it this way, so it's not that you're lacking in that category, it's just that maybe you're lacking a product or two. See you next time. Thanks for joining us on Toronto Buzz.
You're watching Toronto Buzz, and I hope you're enjoying the show. We have different segments in the show where we are bringing different experts and giving you a lot of information. The next segment is about our health again, and it talks about our nutrition plan and what we can or cannot eat, or what is good for us and what is not good for us. Let's see the next segment with Stephanie DiGrazia.
Hello everyone, thank you for watching Toronto Buzz. I'm Stephanie DiGrazia, registered holistic nutritionist, here to share some of my nutrition and wellness tips with you. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to eat healthy on a budget so that you can maintain good health while saving some money. Firstly, purchase in bulk. When you purchase things in bulk or in larger quantities, you are able to save a lot more money as the unit price is generally a lot lower. You can do things like creating your own trail mixes with raw nuts and unsweetened dried fruits, which is much cheaper for you than single serving packets, as well as the fact that it is usually much lower in refined sugars, added salts, and added fats. So purchase food when it is in season or at a reasonable price. So depending on farming conditions, as well as different times of years, different produce such as fruits and vegetables are more expensive. If you purchase fruits and vegetables when they're in season, not only are they more affordable, but they're also more nutritious. You can chop them, wash them, and freeze them for future use to use in smoothies, stir fries, and different soups and stews. Thirdly, try a meatless Monday or a meatless dinner. A can of beans, for instance, is generally about 99 cents to $1.50 and can provide you with about 3 servings of protein. That means that you're feeding your family for under 50 cents per serving. Compare this to meat, for example, chicken or sirloin steak, which is usually about $6.99 to $12.99 a pound and will likely cost you 10 times more per person per meal. Number 4, make large portions of food and freeze them or use them for next day lunch. So you can also use up leftover produce and meats this way so you don't throw them out, and it's going to cost you a lot more money as well because you're wasting quite a bit of food that way. But you can purchase large amounts of food and create them into different types of dishes, so you're not only saving money but you're saving time, which is your most valuable commodity. You can make large batches of soups, stews, or stir fries and freeze them for a dinner another day or repurpose them for lunch the next day. Another great way to save money is to join a rewards or points program. Many grocery stores offer free memberships for points cards, so when you purchase your groceries, you're able to accumulate points that'll give you free groceries. So again, purchase in bulk, purchase foods in season and freeze them, try a meatless dinner or a meatless Monday, make large quantities of food to freeze or use as a next day lunch, and join a rewards program. This is Stephanie DiGrazia, and thank you for watching.
Welcome to Toronto Buzz. In our program today, you saw a segment on inspiration. Fariha Shah presents the segment on inspiration on our show, and tonight she is our special guest. Let's watch to see what Fariha Shah has to say in her interview with us in Toronto Buzz. Hazrat Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi wrote, "Beyond right and wrong, there's a field. You'll find me there." Welcome to Toronto Buzz, and tonight we have a very special guest. She is an inspirational speaker, a motivational speaker, and we have a great audience that is waiting to hear more from her. She'll also be part of our show, Toronto Buzz, as well. We're presenting you some segments, some tips about how to keep motivated and how to approach life and love with passion. We'll talk more about it. Welcome to the show, Ms. Fariha Shah. Thank you.
Thank you. It's such an honor and privilege to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Yeah. And a case of, yes, it very much is my passion that everyone out there in the world live their life of passion.
Great.
So that's what I'm all about.
Absolutely. So you represent a certain business which is dedicated towards providing motivational work. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how it all happened.
Absolutely. So I have an academic background in cognitive science, and in particular the neurological and biological basis of behavior. On top of that, I've done several leadership courses, coaching courses. So I've developed a very unique methodology which I implement with my clients to really get them on the track of living their life of passion.
Sure. Now, passion is a very broad term. When we talk about passion, it relates to our personal life as well as our outward, work or whatever we do in life as well. So when we talk about passion, my biggest concern being motivated is that where do I find that courage to stay motivated? You find a passion, as you said, you start following it, and after a while, it gets monotonous and you lose interest. So how do you keep motivated?
Or you get discouraged,
yes,
in several There's so many things that come up for us. So it's always a case of keep your eye on the prize, so to speak. So what is my passion and why do I want it? The why is very important because, you know, when we create a possibility or a dream, it lasts so long. Like a dream, you can say it lasts one sleep cycle. But what is it that keeps it alive? And that really is what we need to focus on and create on a daily basis. Like, is this dream for my children? Is it for myself? Is it for me to leave behind a personal legacy? Is it for me to contribute something out there to the world? And so in those times when we are demotivated or we think, oh my God, is it really worth it? Then that is what keeps us going. Sure. And I'll give an example of Michael Jordan. Okay. You know, when he was younger and he tried out for basketball, his coach said that, nope, you're no good. And he went home and cried. And I'm paraphrasing this, but there's something that he states that, you know, he failed 350 times, and that is why he succeeds today. Right. So it's a case of when we are in those moments of despair, to think of it that, no, this too is serving me in some manner. Sure.
Now, you are also doing a major event in the city. This program is about Toronto. Tell us about the event you're doing, when it's happening, and what is the motive behind the event, and who is the audience? Okay, oh my God, I'm so excited to share this with you, Khalid. Thank you for asking me about it. So the event is called the Women's Symposium. I'm doing it with a couple of partners, Mimi Thrasher and Katie Pushy. Both of them are phenomenal in what they do. Mimi is a business consultant and Katie is a visionary coach. So the three of us coming together and working on this project, it really is a labor of love. And what it incorporates is the total mind-body spirit connection and a holistic approach to entrepreneurship and women's empowerment. So we each bring different aspects of, you know, what we see as a future of not just a businesswoman, but any woman who wants to, who has a project in mind or who has a goal that she wants to attain, or even if it's a case of she doesn't know what it is and she wants to come and find out. Sure. The Women's Symposium is taking place on January the 24th. It is at a beautiful venue called La Maquette Restaurant, and the cuisine that we've selected is very holistic as well. It's organic, it's high energy, and at the end of the evening, we have a celebration dinner. Sure. So it's a 3-course sit-down celebration meal of everything that we've taken on for the day. That's amazing. You're doing tremendous work. I mean, I must thank you. Appreciate that, especially for women. I think they need more empowerment. Especially coming from a background from another country, when most of the immigrants, and Toronto is basically based out of a lot of immigrants who have settled in Toronto. When we come to Canada or Toronto from a different country with a different culture, there are certain rules or regulations that we are used to that conflicts with the system which is here in the West, especially in Canada. Now, a lot of people, women especially, they don't know how to cope with that. And what is your take on if somebody comes with a conflict like this? How should a person should deal with it? So another aspect of my education is political science, which I love. So I absolutely understand what it's like to be an immigrant to a new country and have to acculturize, right, to the new society. And the dynamics are very different because back home, wherever it may be, we have our own values. Like, do we look at another person in the eye? Do we look down? There's so many nuances. That's and it's a completely new world, right, when we come here. So it's a case of using the resources that we have available, but even before we can use them, we need to know about them. And so what I do on a number of different venues. I also have a radio show, the Mani and Freeha show, and that is listened to on a global platform. It's a case of what is it that is required out there in society, and let us provide those people to you, like as our guest speakers or the resources. We did a project for the Syrian refugees, and as a lot of people know, you know, they've been welcomed in so graciously, and the efforts that the entire country has made is phenomenal. Sure, I think Canada has a big role to play in whatever is happening in the world as well. There's over 100,000 refugees, actually millions of refugees who are all across the globe, who are all lost, and I think Canada will play a good role.
And I actually think that just the word that you use, lost, it really is a coming together within Canada. You know, it's our multiculturalism. So it's not a case of the melting pot, as Americans phrase it.
Sure.
It's not a case of everyone coming together and becoming one stew. The multiculturalism aspect is very much maintained.
Right.
And also throughout the city, you know, we have Chinatown, we have Little Italy, and the Danforth. It's a case of everyone coming together and celebrating each other.
Right. Now you also do organizational training as well for organizations. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the methodology which I've developed for corporations or for any size business actually is a case of, because I am the passion practitioner, it's a case of how do we infuse our passion into whatever it is that we may be doing. Oftentimes we get into a work situation and we think, okay, it's paying the bills or it's passing time 9 to 5. How about viewing that same job with a new set of lenses and thinking of it as a stepping stone? Okay, this may not be my dream job, so to speak, but what if I treated it as if it was? What if I gave it my all as if it was, right?
Sure.
So it's a case of having that mindset of whatever I'm doing, it's taking me somewhere. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And let's make it the best journey that we can.
Sure. Now this question may have come to you many times, but religious practices, irrespective of which religion you belong to, they tend to give you a little system of support, right? When you talk about indigenous systems or systems where there is no structure, or we talk about independence of thought, how do you find support there, like in a culture like Canada?
Okay, well, there are so many religions to choose from, and it's not just a case of the faith aspect. I do feel that faith is very individualistic, and it's a case of, you know, our own personal connection with Source, the divine, God, however we may wish to phrase it. But the other aspect of religion is that support system which comes from the mosque, from the church, from the Gurdwara. And it's a case of, you know, being able to go there and get the support. You know, it's a case of speaking to people who've lived in the culture for longer, getting their input, and also that familiarity. It's so important that, you know, we think that, oh, I'm not alone, that this is a like-minded person because we share a religion. And it really comes down to if we consider...
The question I was trying to ask was, do we have alternate support systems available to, and would you like to address the audience on that?
Yes, of course. Like any society, and I'm most familiar with the Canadian society, is that they offer so many programs and resources. Like the social structure is incredible, and I feel very blessed to be living in the country where such social structures are present. So it could be a case of, you know, special needs, people with disabilities. And right now there's a campaign by Bell of recognizing mental illnesses as something which is detrimental to a person's performance. And to be kind about it, right? As opposed to labeling and being judgmental. So all these resources are out there and available. And as I had said a little bit earlier, it's a case of us knowing how to gain access to them.
Get the access, and I'm pretty sure a lot of information is available on the website as well, on the internet. Now, another question I would like to ask you is that a lot of people are joined together in abusive relationships. Some of them are men, but mostly it's women. How do you deal when you're stuck in a relationship where you have to face abuse and torture? How do you deal with that as a person, as an individual?
Well, I would say don't deal with it. Get yourself out of there as fast as possible. But also, I recognize that it's difficult, right? It's a case of we get accustomed to things. This is a familiar that we've known, and it's a case of if I leave this, like, where do I go?
Right.
So I understand that it is very scary. And something that you had stated earlier is, how do we have the courage to do anything? How do we have the courage to live our life of passion? Well, we can't even reach that passion stage if we're in the midst of survival. So the first and foremost thing is to get ourselves, to a level where we can even think about our passion. And I was pointing to Maslow's theory of hierarchy, that the base needs are food, shelter, and like the hunter-gatherers, they were at that level because that's all they needed to survive. And once that foundation is laid, then you get a little bit higher and you start thinking about your family and taking care of them, about partnerships and creating the families.
Right.
And then once that is very secure, you go a little bit higher. You think about your friends and society and community. And then I won't go into all of the details. I'm sure people are familiar.
Now you are going to be part of this program, so we'd love to see more of you. And the program is focused on life in Toronto.
Yes.
How's your life living in Toronto? How
Oh
do
my
you feel?
God, I love it. I do indeed. And as I stated a little bit earlier, I feel very blessed and privileged to be living in a country that has so many resources. And not just that, but the diversity. Like if we go into Toronto, like downtown, you get a sense of like New York,
That's right.
Dundas Square.
Multicultural, yeah.
Exactly. And you can explore, such
Different
various
cultures, yeah.
regions. There's the harbor front, there's Lake Simcoe,
Right.
there's Algonquin Park not too far. So whatever you're
Lots
into.
to experience, yeah.
Exactly.
That's the one thing that I really love about Toronto. It's an honor for us to have you here. We say goodbye from our studios here. I'm your host, Khalid Mahmood Ata. Thank you for watching Toronto Buzz.
#1 multicultural channel. This is TAG TV.